Okay, well, today is Pink Bootcamp number two. This is a class all about booking and kind of just the foundational concepts of booking and how you can um, really get your date book filled up. And whether you're starting fresh, if you are a brand new consultant, or if you're doing kind of a restart, then you will have some ideas that you can take away from this boot camp. Bookings are the lifeline of our business, right? So without bookings, we're essentially out of business. And Mary Kay Ash herself said that if you are writing in your date book, you are essentially writing in your checkbook, meaning that when you have bookings on your date book, then you have the option or opportunity rather to be in front of people to potentially sell the product and to share the Mary Kay business opportunity, right? So it is all about bookings. And our first initial goal is always to have more bookings on your date book than you know that you're planning on holding. So, with that being said, basically having more to accommodate for what is going to happen, which are cancellations. So if you ever got a cancellation, if that's ever happened to you or someone blew you off or whatever, I want you to know that it's perfectly normal and that's totally okay. So we plan for that. And we want to make sure that we have more on our date book than we know we can actually hold, because that's just the law of the numbers, kind of just working the numbers. And that's how you are going to want to adopt that kind of mentality to make sure that you can always have a certain amount on your calendar and actually hold a certain amount. So we typically say to book 8 to hold 5. So those are the numbers that pretty much across the board with businesses like ours, that usually about booking 8 to hold 5 is a typical number. So if you have 8 on your date book within the next 2 weeks, then having you will actually probably hold 5. Okay, if you hold more than that, then your booking and coaching is just really good, and it just kind of lucked out. But for the most part, when you book 8 appointments, you will most likely hold 5. And when you have that within a 2 week period of time, then that is setting you up for something called a perfect start and a power start. So, a perfect start is having 15 faces that you're in front of within a 2 week window of time, or 30 faces is 30 faces within a 30-day window of time. So, that can be lumped together one on one with people. This can even be virtual. It can be skincare parties where there's actually a hostess and then she invites girlfriends. So it can be done any way that you want to. And that's what I want to encourage you, is to really know what is your sweet spot. What's your gift? What do you love to do and how do you like to do it? And that is going to come through when you share in your bookings, okay, and when you're asking for bookings. So by that I might mean, if you get really excited about makeup and you love to help women with their makeovers and all of that, which is basically just teaching them and showing them new colors and products, then go for it. Just work on that and sharing that. When you're together, then you can also share the skincare, right? So you can always talk about the importance of skincare, even if you're at a makeover appointment. Okay. So you always want to talk about skincare no matter what. So if you get more excited about makeup, then I encourage you to start a portfolio and just say that you are starting a portfolio of 30 women that you want to include, and you're looking for a blonde, you're looking for a brunette, and reach out to those women and ask them to be included in a portfolio. You can also do it based on the seasons as well. So it's a summer portfolio, a winter portfolio, a fall portfolio. So in this instance here, a fall holiday portfolio will be coming up. So you can have people feature the fall looks that come out in the catalog. And so if that excites you, then I want to encourage you to just run with that idea and go for that. But if you're more excited about skincare and really teaching people about skincare and sharing that, then start with skincare, because whatever you are most excited about, you're going to come through on the other end by the receiver, the person hearing your voice, as more genuine and more authentic. And that's what we want to be when we're, booking and everything. So I just want to encourage you to maybe, try to pick one or the other that you get more excited about and use that as your initial reach out for your appointment. So I hope that gives you a little bit of freedom to to do that, that you just don't have to do skincare and you just don't have to do color, vice versa. So it's what gets you more excited and what products you absolutely love. And when you love them all, it's kind of hard to choose, right? You just want to share, but it's in the technique of just knowing what gets you excited, and then that's what's going to come through when you start your booking calls. Okay, so the other thing that I want to mention at this point is just the act of calling and keeping track of people and working those numbers. So I mentioned before about how you want to have more bookings on your date book than you know you actually are going to hold. So typically booking 8 on your date book, but only 5 of them will actually hold. You want to have some lead generation ideas. So I'm just going to pop this up here. I know it's really small to read on here, but I'm just going to kind of go through some of the key points on here just for maybe like mental triggers. And then there'll also be a link to this where you can reference. So don't worry about that. It will be available for you. So let me go ahead and pull it up. But first of all, this idea, here's what my point is that most of us, it's like, but who do I book? I don't know who to book. I just don't know who to book. So the first thing that you do when you're brand new, of course, or even when you're doing a restart, is to make a list of everyone you know with skin. And that sounds kind of silly, but it's true. Okay. You're going to make a list of everyone you know with skin. And then also thinking of it like maybe a big birthday bash list of who you would invite, or a wedding guest list of who you would invite. And that kind of helps to broaden who you might be thinking of. But on this sheet, one of the bullet points talks about, making that list. And so here are some of the ideas of who to add to the list. So people from your phone, going through your phone contact list, Facebook, all the Facebook friends on there, Instagram, people that follow you, people from your high school, people from college, people that you work with, the women at your hair salon, your favorite restaurant that you go to every week, let's say, people from church, maybe you do a book club, you have a wine club, maybe a dentist office that you go to, any kind of doctor's offices in general, anybody where you see people repeatedly, where they kind of recognize your face. That's also another place where it would be a good idea to, offer your business, right, and to get a potential booking. And let's see, this is just a little side tip, but people's life change about every 90 days. So sometimes when you have had a no in the past, it's okay. Like if it's been more than a few months, then go back to those people and maybe ask again. And that's always something that you can keep in mind. So no just doesn't necessarily mean forever. When a no means no forever. We all know that. But if it's a no, not right now, then feel free to check back in with people in about 90 days or so, because their circumstances change, or it's a different season, or who knows what. Okay. And then of course, all of the social media platforms, like I've already mentioned, the Facebook, Instagram, those are great places where you can actually, with the face model portfolio idea, having before and after photos is really great. Those tell a great story online, and that gets people really interested. Perhaps people looking at their birthdays on Facebook. That's a great tip for reaching out to people on Facebook and booking them because it's their birthday. And what's cool about Facebook is it shows who are your friends that are having birthdays. And so that's a great segue to reach in and offer your business. And then of course, asking referrals from current customers, and also in this world of social media, asking your customers to tag you on social media is really helpful as well. Going live on social media is also a great way to spread the word about your business as well. And let's see, what other events, partnering up with local community events, vendor fair for, like there's a fall, I don't know what they call them, but like a harvest festival or something like that. So any type of like table event, this falls in the category of like bridal as well. Those would also be some other ways to find people to book. Okay. The other thing too, I just want to reference, of course, at every appointment to always play a referral game. So that's going to give you plenty of people to refer to. And those are also potential guests for your skincare parties as well. So that's huge. And let's see, referrals from your parties. And then, oh, the last one, maybe just another thought. And again, you'll be able to refer to this list in detail. I'll put it in our boards app, but there are lots of different ways. So this is about a 3-page list that you can refer to. But the um, lead boxes. So we used to have like an actual lead box where we would put them in a restaurant, and people would drop their name in for a complimentary beauty session or something like that. Well, there's something really cool now that I'm anxious to try. So I haven't tried it yet, so I can't give you the full feedback on it yet, but it's really quite a buzz in the Mary Kay world right now. And they're little QR codes that are stickers. And so people would just snap a shot of the QR code, and then that would lead them to a entry form to enter to win with you a complimentary facial or whatever you decide to put on that. So that could be actually probably a whole nother training on just that one thing. But I'd like to try the idea myself and kind of see how that goes. But there are these little stickers that you can get, and you can kind of put them everywhere. And people are so used to knowing how to do QR codes now. So that's just a total sidebar, but another kind of opportunity there. I've also used a frame, like literally a picture frame, and then just printed out a sheet on it that says text pamper me to my phone number, and to be entered to win a complimentary facial or whatever. And so those frames could be set up in different businesses and things like that. So those are just other like lead generation ideas that I wanted to share with you. For the moment. So I want to add to the screen here this sheet, which is, let me see if I can make myself a little bigger and then a little smaller, because you don't really need to read all that. But this is a customer call sheet. So this is also known as a bubble sheet. And this is something that helps you track and helps you to take the emotion kind of out of our numbers that we get. So on this sheet, there's several bubbles, and there's a way to track the bubbles on here. Basically, each bubble is a person that you're reaching out to. And these are all reach outs, phone calls, and such. So, what you would do is you have the contact name goes under the bubble, and then you would put a slash mark when you leave a message for that person. You would put like a line through it. A horizontal line is when you sent a text, and then an X when you actually spoke to someone. And then when you fill in the bubble, that's when you actually have a booking. So you can use this as a way to kind of keep you tracking your phone calls and text messages and things like that, to know how many reach outs it really takes. So basically, by filling up a bubble sheet, you're going to get several appointments booked from it. But if we don't just go through and start reaching out to people, then we don't know how many reach outs it takes to actually get a booking. And so this is a way to kind of do that data for you. So for example, if you're contacting Mary and you just left her a message, you would have Mary, and then that one bubble would have the slash mark. Now, if you go back and talk to Mary again, and you actually spoke with her, you would write her name again and then put an X. So there's basically been 2 times you reached out to Mary, and that's what's happened. The first time you left a message, the second time she actually answer the phone. So those are 2 different attempts. So this is to track your booking attempts. So when you start tracking your booking attempts, you're going to be a little bit more aware as to how many booking attempts you have to make in order to get a certain amount of bookings on your date book. Does that make sense? So once you go through this whole bubble sheet, you're going to see some bubbles actually filled in, which means that you got a booking, right? And so you're going to know by at a glance, wow, it took me, however many bubbles on here, and then I got 3 appointments booked. So then next time, okay, all I need to do is just reach out, and I need to fill in a bubble sheet, and I know I'll get 3 bookings. So it helps you to keep going and to really find out what your personal averages are. So I highly recommend using something like that to kind of help track your reach outs and all of that. Okay, so next up, I'm going to show you here. And again, I know it's going to look small, but I'll just kind of show you again. You'll have this for reference, but this is like a pre appointment checklist on the very top left hand side, which I know you can't see, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here so I can read it to you. On the top left hand side, it says invite. And then across from left to right, it says pre-profile, get booked, and then bring a friend. So this is how kind of a pre-appointment checklist you can use to help you stay on top of your bookings and reaching out to people. So on the top left hand side, basically, I'm just going to read the script that it shows on there. But this is something that you can print out that will help you to have a reference. So it says, "Hey Susie, random question. I am mailing out free DIY facial packs since I started teaching skincare with Mary Kay. They're totally free, and I have a challenge to get feedback on the skincare from about 30 women this month, and it will make you, I promise, feel absolutely fabulous. So we'll do a little fun video pampering once it arrives, and I'll walk you through all the samples. Would you be open to me sending you one?" And so that would be a great, easy invitation that you could ask somebody to have your sample. So the key with that is that you're already saying that you have these pamper packs to mail out and that you have a certain amount. And so you thought of her. And so she can be one of those 30. And so it's not something that you are just coming up with out of the blue, like you've already prepared for this. So that's just an example of one script that you could use to kind of start that. And that would be obviously for a type of virtual appointment. And then, in person, I'll just share with you kind of another example. I'll go ahead and just take that off since I know you can't actually see it. That way I'm a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to read off just another example of another, like for an in-person beauty session. So it says, "Hey Susie, how are you? I hope you are doing amazing. I'd love to catch up. I'm actually reaching out for a reason today. I just started my Mary Kay business. I know, so crazy, right? Well, actually, I'm really excited about how my skin has changed since using the products myself. So I cannot wait to share them. As part of my business launch, I'm offering a few beauty sessions in my home, or I'm looking for someone to host them in their home. And I'll get to show you all of the spa-like skincare treatments. And then I'd absolutely just love your feedback to hear what you think about them. My goal is to have 30 women to try the products this month, and I promise you, you will feel fabulous. Would you be open to being one of my 30?" And that's an example of how you could ask someone for an in-person type of appointment. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all of the coaching. That's going to be for another class. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you, the basics, right? So the first, because this is all about just the foundations of your business. So the first is who you're going to book. The second is, tracking, right? And then also the the who you're going to book, the tracking of reaching out, and then of course having the what to say to those people. So I wanted to equip you with that, so that way you have them available to you. So you can find that information probably in the description of the video, or also just on the boards. You can reach out to me if you don't see them there. I can't find them. I'll make sure that you get them, but it should be available there for you. And yeah, there's lots of great information, and lots of different ways to put together kind of a script, if you will, or conversation. And so I say conversation because I want it to feel, you should feel genuine, right? When you're booking appointments, when you're reaching out to people, just make it more like a conversation. And that's probably the biggest tip I can share with you, is to make it a conversation. So compliment them, make them and just have a conversation saying, "Hey, I would love to, get your opinion on this, or I'm putting together a fall portfolio. I'd love to feature you as one of my 30 featured women in the portfolio," whatever that might be for you. But that would be kind of the basics of how you can get yourself booked up and get that writing in our date book, right? Is like writing in our checkbook. So we used to use checkbooks, but not anymore, really. But that was what Mary Kay used to say. Writing in your checkbook, or date book rather, is like writing in your checkbook. So we want to have those bookings on our date book. So I'm going to go ahead and close our training today with our secret word. So are you ready? The secret word is work. WORK. So when you text me that word, then you will get credit for watching this class. And I'd love to hear your takeaways and everything from it as well. So thanks again for joining for class 2 on booking tips. I'd love to hear your takeaways. And please comment if there's a booking script or something that you're doing that is working fabulously for you. Make sure to put it in the comments. I'd love to hear. And I will catch you in the next class.